Hi guys, it's Jake at Canadian Cutting Edge, and today we're taking a look at the Ganzo 801, and the specific model of this one is the 801-BKS. When I ordered it, I ordered the one without serrations, but the one with serrations is what arrived. You know, since I had it, I couldn't get it anywhere shipped to Canada, so I had it shipped to my sister in Nebraska, and by the time she had time to ship it to me, it was too late to complain to the seller. But it's a reasonable knife. I'm not terribly fond of serrations, but these serrations aren't bad. You know, they're not superb, but they're, for the price of the knife, it's just fine. Sorry about that. I live in a neighborhood where there's a lot of guys with trucks. What we've got here is the Ganzo 801 Survivor knife. Has a really good feeling in the hand. You know, it could be just a little bit thicker, but it does have a bit of a swell right there. Feels good in the hand. You've got your plastic sheath with you know, a cutter of some sort, cable cutter, whatever you want to use it for. A little bit of a diamond stone, and you've got a ferro rod in there. I'm not so happy that they made it facing down because it doesn't hold in very tight. That's going to be lost in the woods pretty quickly unless I use something to tie through that hole and up around the sheath somehow. That's not what I'm testing right now. Let's test how good this thing batons. Grab ourselves a piece of wood. Not bad. The blade stays quite thick, right close to the last, you know, 2/3 of an inch is where it comes down, so it's nice and heavy and strong. Through a knot. Let's see if we can make some feathers off of this thing. Let's try my right hand. I don't need to make a million of them to show you. Yeah, works pretty good. Let's take a look at the edge here. The serrations look fine. You know, it does show some wear on the paint there, but the edge itself looks great. Let's strike a ferro rod, see how it goes. Take the paint off it first. Whoa, just barely taking the paint off, and look at that. That just throws a load of sparks. Thanks to them, you know, taking that edge to a really perfect sharpness by taking the paint off. Works very well. So I've done the, you can see how dirty this is. I've done the testing on wood and striking a ferro rod. This is a good knife. I like the length of it. That's about the shortest length I would like to have on a bushcraft knife. I did do a review of the SEMA 1, and it's a little bit shorter. I would prefer this size, but that SEMA 1 is, you know, it's reasonable. It does a good job. This one is not really a survival knife. That's what it's called on there. It's trying to be a survival knife. It's got this reflective green inlay. It's a decent size. It's a decent heft. I like how thick it stays till it gets close to the tip. It's not ground right down the center because of the serrations and the way they did the one side sharpening on the serrations. They also ground this side down, so the center of the blade is off to this side. The cutting edge is off to the side. I really like how they took off some of their coating to make a bare spot to strike ferro rods, and that works very well. The handle's very comfortable with this soft molded rubbery plastic. I'm not sure what it's called. I'll put it in the description. Feels really good in the hand. No hot spots. It's easy to use. You've got this lanyard hole at the back, which you can fit any size paracord or whatever in there. And then this screws off the bottom. And inside, they had put just a little bit of, no, actually, I'm wrong. I must be thinking of a different knife. This is how the blade gets tightened onto the sheath. The spine of the blade goes inside all the way to the end, ending in a threaded rod. And this nut of sorts is what holds the handle in place. So it is a full tang, I guess technically a full tang knife, but it's inside, and it's a thinner piece of the knife coming back all the way to the end. It didn't get loose in my testing. I thought with this type of end it would. It might after heavier use, but in my basic testing it was just fine. The ramp up here with that little bit of jimping on the handle is good. It adds a nice purchase. I feel like I want to come up here when I use it, but then this finger's not quite into that choil, and by the time I get the index finger in that choil, then I'm way up here with the thumb, and so it doesn't feel quite natural. It's reasonable, but not totally natural feeling. I call this a good blade. I paid right around $20 US for this, $21.85 I think it was. For that price, if they still carried it, if they put it back into production, I'd recommend it as an introductory, bushcrafter camping type knife. It's certainly not for anyone medium to advanced level bushcrafter. You're going to take a pass on this for sure. It's got a nice flat grind, not right to the end of the spine, but it goes up about 1 inch, and then it flattens out onto the spine of the blade. Yeah, it's a reasonable knife. I enjoyed testing it. I enjoyed playing with it. I like it. It's got a good weight to it, and it's a tool that I recommend. If you like this video, please click on like at the bottom of the screen there. Share it with your friends, and please subscribe to the channel. That helps me a lot. Remember guys, always cut towards your chum and not your thumb. Bye now.